Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down how a multi-million-dollar decision gets made. A decision that brings modern internet to an entire developing nation. We're going to look at the real numbers, the strategy, and the incredible impact of just one single project.
All right, so let's just jump right in, because this is really the core question of our whole explainer. How do you decide to spend a cool $3 million on an internet cable? It's not just about finding the cash. It's about proving that the investment is worth the massive risk. And this was the exact challenge that the telecom company Metrolink was staring down in Timor-Leste.
So to really understand what's at stake here, we have to rewind to 2020. Picture this. Timor-Leste, a nation with about 1.3 million people, is growing fast. But its digital infrastructure, it just couldn't keep up. And that was creating a really serious problem, a digital divide.
And here's the problem in black and white. The promise was a 99% service level, basically a guarantee of how reliable the internet would be. But as you can see in 2020, the actual performance was falling short month after month. Now, for a developing economy, that little percentage gap, it's not just some minor inconvenience. We're talking lost business, stalled government work, and a whole lot of frustrated people.
So what was the big problem? Well, you can point the finger right at the old network. It was running on these old, unstable microwave links that were super vulnerable to interference. For everyone, businesses, the government, you name it, this meant painfully slow speeds and constant maddening disruptions. You just can't build a modern economy on a connection that keeps cutting out.
Now to fix this, Metrolink came up with a really ambitious plan. And you know what's cool? They named it after something really special from the nation's sacred creation myth, the story of a crocodile, or Lafayette, who became the island of Timor itself to give its people a home.
And with that powerful vision in mind, the Lafayette Network Cable Project was born. This wasn't just some small upgrade. This was about building a foundation for the future. The plan? Lay down a modern fiber optic backbone, connecting all the key spots from Siloam right to the capital city, Dili.
But look, a vision this big, it's not cheap. The total investment needed to bring the Lafayette network to life was a hefty $3 million.
So, a company like Metrolink, how do they decide if $3 million is a brilliant move or a total disaster? Well, they don't just flip a coin. They use a really smart financial process called capital budgeting. It's basically their toolkit for making these huge, high-stakes decisions.
And all that fancy stuff, it really just boils down to two super simple but absolutely critical questions. First, how fast do we get our money back? And second, will this whole thing actually make us more money than we put in?
To answer that first question, how fast, they use something called the payback period. It's really straightforward. It just calculates how long it's going to take for all the money the project brings in to cover that initial cost. It's all about speed and managing that short-term risk.
And for the second question, how profitable, they use net present value, or NPV. Now this one is incredibly powerful. It calculates the total, long-term profit of a project, but it also cleverly accounts for the fact that a dollar in your pocket today is worth more than a dollar you might get years from now.
So let's just break that down one more time. Payback period, that's all about speed. How fast do we stop holding our breath? Net present value, that's all about profit. Is this whole journey actually worth it in the end? For a big project to get a yes, it needs to have a great answer for both.
So, with those tools in hand, Metrolink started crunching the numbers. They built a model of how much income they expected to make from the new fiber network, and as you can see, their forecasts showed really strong growth from day one.
All right, so there it is, $3 million on the table. Big promises of revenue. It was time to get some answers to those two key questions. The numbers had to tell a really clear story. And wow, did they ever.
The first result that came back from the payback period analysis was frankly incredible. The company had a target to get their money back within 5 years. The Lafayette project was on track to pay for itself in just 2 years and 7 months. That's a huge win.
Okay, so the project was fast, but was it profitable in the long run? Well, the net present value told an even better story. A positive NPV is good. It means you make money. This project wasn't just positive, it was projected to generate over $3.3 million in pure value on top of the original investment. So when you put those two pieces of data together, a super fast payback and a massively positive NPV, the conclusion was just obvious. The financial case was rock solid. This project was a clear, decisive green light. So let's just recap the winning formula here.
It had a fast return, it promised a huge profit, and strategically, it just made perfect sense. This is what a slam-dunk investment case looks like. Check, check, and check.
Okay, so the number crunchers were happy. But this explainer isn't just about spreadsheets, right? What does this project actually look like for the people of Timor-Leste? It looks like this, a brand new, powerful digital backbone for the entire country, physically connecting it in a way that just wasn't possible before.
And this is where it gets really exciting. We're talking about a massive capacity boost, up to 200 gigabits per second. What that really means is better, faster, more reliable internet for everybody, the government, businesses, regular citizens. And critically, it plugs Timor-Leste right into Indonesia's much bigger internet network, opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
You know, what this whole case study really shows is how one single, really well thought out $3 million project can unlock the potential of an entire nation. It proves that behind every big leap forward, there's a story of smart planning and a calculated risk. And that kind of leaves you wondering, right? If one cable can change a country's future, what's next?